बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम। अस्सलाम वालेकुम। Today we are going to discuss the topic about bacteria, which is growth and reproduction of bacteria. Let's start with the definitions. The definition of growth is the irreversible increase in size or volume. And what is the definition of reproduction? It is a process by which living organism increase in number. It is known as reproduction. As far as the reproduction and growth of bacteria is concerned, we should keep in mind that the growth of bacteria means the growth of bacterial colony, not the growth of a single cell of bacteria. So when we talk about the growth in bacteria, it means the irreversible increase in the size of the colonies of the bacteria. So remember one thing, bacterial growth commonly refers to increase in the number of bacterial cells. Bacteria increase in number by two methods. It may be asexual reproduction or sexual reproduction. First of all, we will discuss the asexual reproduction. So bacteria increase in number by an asexual mean of reproduction. And what is the method of asexual reproduction in bacteria? That is known as binary fission. The word binary means two and the word fission means to break up. So binary fission means the breakage of a cell into two daughter cells. So in binary fission, the parent cell elongates. I have drawn the diagram of a bacteria. The outermost covering, which is in blue color, indicates the cell wall of the bacteria, and the inner membrane is known as cell membrane, where it is the chromosome of the bacterial cell. It is the second diagram of bacterial cell. If we compare these two diagrams, we will see a clear difference that the length of this cell is shorter, but this cell has been elongated. So in binary fission, the first step is the elongation of the parent cell. This cell has enlarged in this diagram. That is why the first step in the binary fission is cellular enlargement. So after the cell has enlarged, the second major step in the binary fission is the replication of the DNA. If you compare these two diagrams, in this diagram only one chromosome is present, but in this diagram it has replicated. One chromosome is of black color and the other one is of red color. So the second step of the binary fission is the replication of chromosome. What the cell has to do after the replication of chromosome? The one copy of the chromosome migrate to one pole of the cell and the other chromosome migrate toward the other pole of the cell. After the completion of this step, if you observe and analyze the difference between these two diagrams, in this cell the cell membrane is smooth, but the cell membrane in this diagram, it has invaginated inward. So in this step, the cell membrane start invagination into the cytoplasm. So we say cell membrane invaginates. What is the last and final step? These two ends of the cell membrane, they fuse with each other, and as a result the cytoplasm is separated into two equal parts, like this one and this one, and at the end the cell wall is formed between two daughter cells. In this process, one bacteria has divided into two daughter cells, and it is the process of binary fission. Let's have a look. Once the division is complete, bacteria grows. When these two daughter cells have formed, now gradually these two daughter cells will attain the properties of its species. Bacteria grows and develops its unique feature. What kind of feature? Which were the properties of this species. Now once these bacteria have been formed, the time period from the birth of this cell up to the next division of the cell, this time period is known as generation time. What is the definition? The interval of time until the completion of the next generation is known as the time period or the generation time of bacteria, which is around about 20 minutes. If we talk about the different phases of bacterial colony, remember there are four distinct phases. Four distinct phases are recognized in bacterial growth curve. And what are the names? The first of all, lag phase. The second one is log phase. The third one is stationary phase. And the last one is death phase. Let's have a look at the growth curve of bacteria. Along the x-axis, we place the time, and along the y-axis, we place the number of microorganisms. It is the very first part of the phase, right from this point to this point. If you analyze this portion of line, time is increasing horizontally, but this line is not changing in its position, nor upward nor downward. So we say with the passage of time, the number of bacteria are not increasing, nor they are decreasing. So we say it is that phase of bacterial growth in which there is no growth in fact. In fact, bacteria prepare themselves for division in this phase, lag phase. What is the second phase? That is known as log phase. Right from this point to this point, if you see, the time is increasing and this curve is moving upward with a steep slope, which means with the passage of time, the number of bacteria is increasing sharply. That is why this phase is known as log phase. It is the phase of rapid growth, and bacteria often reproduce exponentially with a very high rate. What is the third phase? Right from this point to this point. Again we see that the time is increasing horizontally, but this line is not shifting upward or downward, which means the number of bacteria, they are constant, they are not increasing nor they are decreasing. That is why this stage is known as stationary phase. If we talk about the last phase, right from this point to this point, with the passage of time, this line is moving downward, which indicates that the number of bacteria, they are decreasing, which means that the death rate is greater than the rate of the production of the bacteria. That is why it is known as death phase as well as decline phase. Remember one thing, after the completion of the growth curve of bacteria, we should keep in mind the certain points. Bacteria lack traditional sexual reproduction. and mitosis and meiosis. Listen once again, that bacteria lack traditional sexual reproduction and mitosis and meiosis. They are not present in bacteria. It is a point to think that why mitosis is missing. As we know that mitosis consists of two basic stages. One is the division of nucleus, which is known as karyokinesis, and the other is the division of cytoplasm, that is known as cytokinesis. We are well aware that bacteria is not an eukaryotic organism. It is prokaryotic organism in which there is no nucleus is present. So no nucleus means no karyokinesis, and if there is no karyokinesis, we will have to admit that mitosis cannot take place in bacteria. Similarly, our previous knowledge tells us that chromosomes are haploid in bacterial cell. They are not diploid. So meiosis takes place only and only in diploid cell. So what is the result? Mitosis and meiosis, they cannot take place in bacterial cell. Nor the traditional sexual reproduction is found in bacteria. But a similar process to the sexual reproduction is found in bacteria, and that is known as conjugation. Some bacteria transfer genetic material from a donor bacterium to a recipient bacterium through a process known as conjugation. So let us try to understand what in fact the conjugation is. If we see these two diagrams, it is the chromosome of one bacteria and it is the chromosome of second bacteria. This bacteria contain extra chromosomal DNA in the form of plasmid. So on this basis we have named it as F positive cell. This bacterial cell lack plasmid, so that is why we call it F negative cell. So in conjugation, first of all, these two cells, they attach with each other with the help of their sex pili. We have already read that pili are small thread-like structure which are smaller than flagella. Flagella is involved in motility, but these pili, they are not involved in motility, but they are involved in the attachment of bacterial cell. What was the other difference between flagella and pili? Flagella was composed of flagellin protein, whereas this pili is composed of pillar protein. So these two bacteria, they attach with each other with the help of sex pili. The sex pili, it attaches the two cells more closer to each other. That is why I have written donor cell attached to the recipient with its pilus. Pilus draws the cell together. Here the word donor means that cell which has to donate its genetic material, and the recipient means that bacterial cell which has to receive the genetic material. So first of all, they will be attached with the help of pili. Then these pili, they will attach the two cells toward each other. After the attachment is complete, the cytoplasm of these two cells, it is connected through these bridge. Here you can see the cytoplasm of two cells, they are interconnected from the point where pili were attached. That is why I have written cell contact one another. These two cells, they will contact with one another. Contact point is the attachment point. In the next phase, this double stranded plasmid, it transfer one of its polynucleotide chain to the recipient cell. Now this cell contains one polynucleotide chain of plasmid. This cell also contains one polynucleotide chain of plasmid. It replicates the single-stranded DNA into double-stranded DNA. It also replicates the single-stranded DNA into double-stranded DNA. So this cell, which originally lacked plasmid, now it has plasmid and it has become F-positive cell. Now there is a question that what is the benefit of this type of transfer of genetic material? As we are well aware that these plasmid, they contain the genes which are disease resistant, which are heavy metal resistant. So this cell has the advantage, it can adapt the environment in a more efficient way as it was before the transfer of genetic material. So I have